When I first started playing, you know, you get what you get. So I got a garage sale guitar. It was like a knockoff K. It was a J. it was $5. It did the trick.
Yeah.
In the crowded landscape of modern guitarists, few musicians have carved a path as distinctive and soul-stirring as Derek Trucks. Celebrated for his unparalleled slide technique and emotional depth, Trucks has always worn his influences on his sleeve, blending blues, jazz, world music and rock into a voice that sounds both ancient and startlingly fresh. Central to his musical identity are 5 guitarists he holds above all others. These are the guys who showed me what the guitar could really do, Trucks once told Guitar World. Each of them unlocked a door. From an early age, Trucks seemed predestined to follow a musical journey of rare authenticity. Born in Jacksonville, Florida, into a family steeped in music, his uncle, Butch Trucks, was the drummer for the Allman Brothers Band. Derek picked up the guitar at the tender age of 9. By the time he was 11, he was playing alongside seasoned bluesmen, absorbing lessons from every stage he graced. Yet it was in his formative listening habits where the deepest seeds were sown.
I mean, you're constantly listening. I think a lot of times you're going back to some of the original wells that you draw from. Sometimes you listen to so much stuff you forget what first moved you. So I think when you ever get stagnant, you go back and listen. There's so much great music back. I can't say there's a ton of current things that I'm loving.
First among Trucks' great influences is a figure whose soulful phrasing with the Allman Brothers Band revolutionized the instrument in the late 1960s, Dwayne Alman. Trucks has never hidden the reverence he feels for Allman. Dwayne had that rare thing where every note felt necessary, he told Rolling Stone. You never got the sense he was just running scales or filling space. It was always honest, always urgent. It is telling that Trucks has often played on stage with Dwayne's legendary 1957 gold-top Les Paul, the very guitar used on iconic recordings like Statesboro Blues. Just having that instrument in your hands, Trucks said, it's like feeling history vibrating under your fingers. But even beyond the physical artifacts, it is Allman's approach to expression that haunts Trucks' playing. The vocal quality of Trucks' slide work, the way a single note can shiver with feeling, owes a clear debt to Allman's example. Dwayne could take you somewhere with just a few notes, Trucks added. He understood space, melody, and soul. If Allman represents the high watermark of electric slide guitar, another figure stands as the primal source, Elmore James. Trucks has frequently cited James as a figure of almost mythic importance. When you hear Elmore James hit those first few notes, it's like a church service starting, he once said. There's no mistaking it. There's a rawness, a purity. James, often called the king of the slide guitar, fused the energy of Delta blues with the amplification of post-war Chicago, creating a sound that remains elemental. For Trucks, James's recordings, gritty, ecstatic and unvarnished, provided a template for emotional directness. There's something about Elmore, Trucks reflected in an interview with Premier Guitar, where you feel he's not trying to impress anybody, he's just reaching deep and letting it out. Speaking to Blues Review, Trucks elaborated, Elmore taught me that imperfections are beautiful. Sometimes the cracks in the voice or the slip of a slide is what makes it real. Equally essential to Trucks' artistic DNA is a man who taught generations of guitarists about the power of understatement, B.B. King. the so-called King of the Blues, made a profound impression. "BB showed me that less can be so much more," Trucks said. "He could say in one note what some players couldn't say in 100. King's legendary vibrato, his judicious bending of strings, and his ability to make Lucille, his beloved guitar, weave vocal-like lines left an indelible imprint." Trucks often recalls hearing King's 1965 classic live at the Regal and being struck by its atmosphere and economy. "It was about the space between the notes as much as the notes themselves," he told Guitar Player. "That's something I've tried to internalize ever since." "You listen to BB," Trucks said to Mojo, "and you realize he's having a conversation. It's not about shredding, it's about dialogue, about emotional resonance." Yet Trucks's musical education has never been confined to the blues alone. A voracious listener with eclectic tastes, he found himself drawn to the jazz pioneers who bent and reshaped the boundaries of melody and improvisation. Chief among these was Charlie Christian. Christian, whose short life belied his enormous influence, transformed the guitar from a rhythm instrument to a lead voice in the swing era. Trucks has spoken often of the debt he owes Christian. "There's a freedom and a melodic inventiveness to Charlie Christian that just opened my mind," he remarked. "It made me realize you could be melodic and rhythmic at the same time, weaving through the music rather than just sitting on top of it." Listening to Trucks solo, whether on a simmering blues or a raga-inflected instrumental, one can hear Christian's spirit in the effortless way phrases bloom and resolve, how ideas seem to unspool naturally, rather than being forced into neat boxes. "Charlie was fearless," Trucks said in an interview with Jazzwise. "He wasn't playing safe, he was stretching lines, going where the melody wanted to go, not where the rules said it should." Perhaps most fascinating, however, is Trucks's abiding love for a Malian guitarist often dubbed the African John Lee Hooker, Ali Farka Touré. Touré's music, with its hypnotic, cyclical patterns and pentatonic melodies, offered Trucks a glimpse into an alternate history of the blues, one rooted in the deserts and villages of West Africa, rather than the cotton fields of the American South. "When I first heard Ali Farka Touré, it was like the missing link," Trucks told Downbeat. "There's a rhythm and a drone in his playing that pulls you in. It's trance music, but it's storytelling too." Touré's influence is especially apparent in Trucks's compositions with the Tedeschi Trucks Band, where African rhythms and modes subtly color the band's rootsy Americana. "It broadened my sense of what a song could be," he said, "that you didn't have to stick to a verse-chorus-verse structure, you could build and breathe." Reflecting further in a conversation with Songlines, Trucks added, "Ali's music taught me that simplicity doesn't mean easy. There's a deep complexity in repetition, a spiritual thing. It's about connecting to something ancient. It is this willingness to synthesize diverse traditions without diluting their essence that sets Trucks apart. His playing does not mimic, it converses. Each note is steeped in the wisdom of those who came before him, but speaks with a voice unmistakably his own." Away from the limelight, Trucks is famously modest about his abilities. When asked in interviews about his technical mastery, he often shifts attention back to his heroes. "I'm still trying to catch up to those guys," he insists. "There's always more to learn." In a musical era often obsessed with speed, flash and spectacle, Trucks stands as a reminder that true greatness resides elsewhere, in tone, feel, storytelling. His idols taught him that the guitar, at its best, is less a machine for technical display than an extension of the human voice. "You want to say something that matters," Trucks said, "something people can feel." Ultimately, what binds Trucks's 5 favorites is not just technical innovation or fame, but an unwavering commitment to emotional truth. They were artists who played from the gut, who trusted feeling over flash, who built something enduring not from complexity, but from clarity of purpose. It is a lineage Trucks honours every time he takes the stage, bottleneck sliding across strings, chasing a sound at once ancient and new, an echo of those he admires, but always, unmistakably, Derek Trucks.